everyone, and welcome back to the Nook podcast. I'm your host, as ever, Peppermint8, and as ever, the Obsidian Nook is joining me today. Why don't you say hello?
Hello.
As always. So, it is Madam's birthday as of recording. This will probably come out tomorrow, because I have to open a drink for the child. I have to open a fruit shoot. The fuck do you open this? There you are, happy birthday. Anyway, it's Madam's birthday. As a sort of impromptu thing, we sort of decided that we would... Well, Madam was threatening to fuck off on her own for a few hours, so obviously I had to be dragged along. But yeah, we decided, fuck it. You wanted to watch this anyway. Before it got spoiled, even though it's a remake where basically the same thing happens. We'll talk about that later. But yeah. If you didn't know, we've already covered the original a long time ago now. Feels like we have done a lot. But yeah, now we are doing the 2025 live, big quotes, live action remake of Lilo and Stitch, of course. If you can tell by the thumbnail and the title. But yeah. So, as someone who absolutely adores Lilo and Stitch, you have a Build-A-Bear with your deceased mother's voice in, which is really freaky when you accidentally set that off. As the biggest, not the biggest fan, you're a Disney adult only for Lilo and Stitch. In one sentence, can you sum up how you feel about this film?
I feel a little bit mad because I know it doesn't follow it down to a T, but there's some I feel like Terry Crews playing Bubbles would have been so much better.
Or Ving Rhames, the guy who actually looks like him. I'm probably butchering his name.
My biggest nag is the aliens dressing up in women's clothes. Or that particular alien dressing up in women's clothes, because he was very stylish in the cartoon film. I was very jelly growing up.
I mean, he's not an alien, technically he's not a guy.
He's to his human actor for,
At least they kind of kept the fashion for him.
Got into the whole voice of it and that kind of sassy tune and that kind of thing, so it didn't make me hate him as much, but Jumbo
we will have to have a word about. Stas is back.
Jumbo was just...
You had your treats literally before we start recording.
And I feel like Bubbles didn't have enough of an appearance, and I feel like Bubbles' actor wasn't really into it.
It's barely in it. But yeah, so we'll go through the main things that have changed and what's annoyed us. We'll start off with Jumbo. Jumbo is now played by Zach Galifianakis, who does not even try to do the fake voice, the fake accent. Of course, I can't remember whoever played him in the original, but it's not the same guy, obviously. Removes that sort of... he doesn't seem like a mad scientist in this.
It just felt like he didn't want... It just felt like he didn't have passion for it.
No.
I was about to say it just felt like he was there for the paycheck, but...
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, it's Disney. Disney care about money more than anything.
But what doesn't make sense to me is when you pointed out to me how the social worker was the original voice actor for Nani?
Yes, so Nani, obviously, from the original plays, Bubbles' replacement character, if you wish. But then they basically make Bubbles his original character anyway, in the end. Obviously, Bubbles is the social worker it's implied that he isn't just a social worker in the original, because he's very casual when he meets, the councilwoman and, the other aliens, and she sort of was like, they clearly know each other, and it's just implied that he's CIA. Or, three-letter agency, but in this is literally I am Cobra Bubbles, I am CIA agent, I'm going to go undercover for no reason. But we're also going to have another councilwoman, a social worker, thank you. It would have
made sense for the social worker to play Nanny. Nini. I can never fucking pronounce her
Nini
name.
nanny, nini nanny.
What's her name properly?
I believe it's Nani is the pronunciation.
Okay, if the original voice actor played Nani,
I mean, she'd be too old.
she looked like the right age when she was playing the social worker, is what I don't get.
Yeah, but do her up. It's like this is 20 years onwards. I don't think they can believe. I don't know how old she was in the original, but this is 20 years later. Not 28 years later. That's a different film. But yeah. So other than Nani, David is in it. I got his character wrong. He is actually like the original voice actor for David is her boss at that bar that they set on fire. He's barely in it. I could barely tell if that was him. I thought it was the original, like, luau, is that what it's called? Like, dance teacher or whatever. But I was wrong. But, yeah. Jumbo also looks fucking horrible. He hurts my eyes to look at.
And my biggest nag of all is the... When we get to Lilo doing her dances with the group, the mean girl, we'll call her.
Myrtle's barely in it. Myrtle's her name.
I'm sorry, but Myrtle, to me, in the original, she was white and she was ginger.
God, are we bringing race into the podcast?
No. Because if you're going to the original film and the original craft, you know, all I'm saying is that the Myrtle, she's ginger and she's white.
Yeah.
The girl who played her had no ginger hair. And I couldn't even tell.
The ginger hair made her stand out as the arsehole character.
I couldn't even tell. Because of the fact that when you think of the mean girl in the original, you're like, oh yeah, that's Myrtle with the ginger hair.
The ginger hair and the big glasses.
Really likes sexy attitudes.
But Myrtle,
Myrtle
because she didn't.
Toned her down.
Oh god, yeah. Myrtle just sort of blends in with the other like young girl characters. Like she sort of makes a nasty jab, and then she'll join her group of friends, and then you can't tell which one's Myrtle again.
But then they got Bubbles as, you know, what's the word? Is it ethnic?
Please stop bringing race into this.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they got Bubbles right. They got
They got everyone correct, basically. Lilo and her sister, correct.
Yeah, and David right, and the social worker, but they couldn't get Myrtle.
Yeah, I don't know.
They couldn't get Jumbo because, you know, that just pissed me off.
His voice just didn't suit the character. He was too whiny.
It was only because, what was it?
Completely at least put the effort in to actually seem like his character.
He watched the originals and he wanted to do it because it's just like, he's so happy. He was like, oh, can I give the council a hug? And he's just like, oh, me, I want to stay on this earth. And it's just like, oh, fucking hell.
Whereas Jumba's basically just, no you don't. Like, it's just a dude doing an American, it's just a dude. And the fact that they don't dress up in their, like, human disguises, Disney just did the lazy thing of being like, here's a hologram machine that just makes you look like a person, and then the person is just the actors in real life.
Also, the other thing we both said about was we were sure portals wasn't a thing in the original. There's a couple of things.
A what? Pause?
Portals. You know when they kept
Portals.
zapping, like, portals open?
Portals!
Yeah.
You were going portals. They have the very convenient device of the portal gun from Portal, which we will... It's basically just to remove them, like, going around and doing stuff. It's just like, alright, I'm gonna go do this, and then he'll just go. It doesn't make sense.
So in the original one, when we get to the scene where Stitch is... when Stitch and Lilo jump out of the alien ship.
The alien ship, if I can step in, may I just say they completely removed Gantu and made the Jumba the villain, which is, we'll talk about more about that at the, like, about the end of the film a bit later on. Gantu is completely missing, so they forced Jumbo to be the villain. He's a bit of a villain, but he becomes a good guy in the original. But Gantu's gone. They missed the entire like ship going through the mountains. Instead, it just flies over the ocean. It's just Lilo doesn't sneak aboard. She just follows. The portal gun is either extremely convenient to get to one place, or you have to shoot two, so like an entry and an exit. But then, once Jumbo leaves Lilo to be crushed inside a house, he just shoots one and it's back into his ship, which is underwater. So, either it's like you need an entrance or an exit, or if the plot needs it, just shoot one and you're there. And at the end as well. Gantu was our big main bad guy. Jumbo was sort of like your secondary antagonist, but he had a bit of redemption at the end and joined the Ohana. But
it's like, I don't understand the whole thing with Stitch being that heavy that...
That wasn't really a thing, was it, in the original, where his density will make him drown if he lands in the water, and then he can...
Cartoons, when David rescued him, he made it so fucking easy. He just swam up with him.
Yeah, he literally scooped him and went... The rescue got changed as well. Bear in mind, they crashed out at sea. Out on a surfboard, out at sea. No. They crash into the ocean. They make Nani rescue him. And because of how heavy she is, she walks along the ocean fucking floor, all the way back to shore, without going up for breath. Like she's a fucking Big Daddy from Bioshock or some shit. Or like the fucking... I haven't seen Pirates of the Caribbean in a long time, but they walk along the ocean floor in that as well, but that's because they're fucking zombies. But she just walks along it while carrying him. Like, they are far enough out where she should fucking drown as well, but she doesn't. But he's so heavy she has to.
My biggest nag is the ending, because I will forever love the original cartoon ending where I'm 99% sure that the ship that Jumbo and
Pleatley, it ends up crashing into the roof of the house. But in this,
the house, and they end up, because at the end after,
I think they just throw a tarp or something over it to hide the fact it's an alien ship.
After wrecking the house, they then get some sort of like, you know, guilt trip, and then they become the part of the family, and then Nanny's I can't pronounce it.
Basically, Jumbo and Pleatley realise, shit, what we're doing isn't good. And they realise how much like damage they've caused, and they sort of have a change of heart. And sort of, in this it's just like, Pleatley is still a good guy, but Jumbo gets sucked out the back of its ship into the ocean and picked up and fuck off by like the Galactic Federation or whatever they were called.
The cartoon ending I love. I just love how they become a family, and she hasn't got to go and do her...
Ohana means family, no one gets left behind, except the care worker still goes, sorry mate, we can't like break the deal. She still has to like move in with someone else, like you have to give up custody. So she moves in with these neighbours that aren't in, well, David and his grandmother, I want to say. Like, who lived... David lived next door, but the grandmother never existed. But they created her, so Lilo lives with them now. And then Nani decides, okay, I'm gonna go to college. So Ohana means family, but people get left behind. Like, the whole point of the film is family, and they just fucking go, fuck it. Send her off to college that she flies away to. But then because, for some reason, she kept the portal gun, she was able to go back to the house. Again, the portal gun is just a way of making the plot more convenient. It's like at the end of a film where it's like, yeah, it was all a dream. And the escape sequence at the start took about 10 minutes. Don't get me wrong, all of the aliens in that but look really good. The Grand Councilwoman, she looks really good. Pleatley looks fine, but fucking Jumbo is really off-putting. They made his skin really, like, leathery and horrible. Whereas in the original, he's basically just like a four-eyed armadillo-looking creature. I could be completely wrong, I probably am. But he was just, ugh. And he's so much of an asshole. They just turned him into a full-on villain for no reason. But it was like, presumably it was because having Gantu, this big CGI villain, would cost a lot of money. But then there's quite a lot of fucking random CGI. Like, a lot of shots looked green screen for no reason. But then characters in the same place didn't look green screened. The effects were all over the fucking place. At least they didn't change the design of most of the characters. At least they looked the part.
I think personally for Disney, considering they're a massive corporation, they get a lot of money off a lot of people, including fucking Disney Plus and holidays and that.
It's not fucking Park.
They should have enough money to pump out and make a decent film if they're gonna do a live action one. If you know you can't deliver, don't do it.
Stop ruining a beloved film for no fucking reason. You've got the money. As soon as I heard Gantu wasn't in it, I was like, what the fuck is this gonna be? Like, you've taken the main bad guy out of the film. For money reasons. And then we don't have the aliens, Pleatley and fucking Jumba, being good guys all the time and blending in by just throwing on human clothes, which lends to the humour of the film and the charm, because it's dumb, doesn't make sense, but it's part of the humour of it. But conveniently, it's like hologram disguise.
I know I said earlier on that once it came out and dropped down in price by a lot, I said get it. I think it's one of those films that if it was on TV,
It's probably coming on Disney Plus.
And we had the subscription to watch on there, because I think the more we talk about it,
The more you're not liking it.
the more I only want to keep because I'm sure I've got the trilogy in the drawer.
I'm sure you do.
The originals, the cartoons.
If not, they're all on Disney anyway.
So I would just rather have my originals and the cartoon versions.
Again, Disney, please stop shitting on beloved classics.
If we fucking do Tangled, no.
You know they cancelled that because Snow White that bad.
Fucking shit,
And they were going to make Rapunzel black.
I'm sorry, do not ruin the fucking Tangled.
It's going to look...
It's such a vibe, that horse. Do not fucking do any of that horse.
The horse would look fucking abysmal. But trying to make the CGI horse do all of the, like, emotes, they would probably get rid of him. They would probably remove the horse entirely and then just make it have some, like, quirky sidekick instead.
I think the one character who we should give recognition to is the frog.
The frog that is barely in it.
The frog did make me laugh.
And Stitch as well. Stitch is still up to his usual antics. But the problem is, any scene that didn't have Stitch in, I felt fucking bored. Like, any time where it was just either Pleatley and Jumba, they don't have any, like, actual on-screen chemistry. It's just like, oh, fucking here we go. Let's have these two bicker with one another. Oh, look, another call from the Grand Councilwoman. Are you guys doing your job? Aha, ha, ha, oh, jobs. And then this is, and then Nani and Lilo, oh, they're just not believable like they were in the original. I can see they had a close relationship with the original, but this is just like...
I think I give it hats off to Lilo because I feel like she did really try to get in the zone of Lilo. I feel like she may have watched the cartoons herself.
I didn't like Lilo in this.
I feel like she was trying her best to try and bring Lilo to life in the world. But Nani, I can't pronounce her name.
Nani?
Nani, hers just felt a bit forced. Like there wasn't many facial expressions. Do you know what I mean? Like her face was. You know how some actors can do sad, happy, all those facial expressions.
Sometimes
Like her face was very moving.
Face acting is just as important as, like, regular acting, you
And
know?
it just seems to be when she said some of her lines, they kind of felt a bit too quiet. I don't know if this is her first major film, or if she's done acting before and she's a bit, I don't know, nervous or something, but it just felt like she didn't really love her own passion.
Another random point. Lilo spends half of this film fucking screaming at the top of her lungs.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. There was screaming in the original. It was like ear piercing. It was like, fucking hell. Oh. This is just... Disney, please just stop shitting on everything. Keep your classics. And just fuck off remake. They want to make a sequel to this already.
Is the original films alone and now focus on new Disney characters and new movies with new, you know...
New IPs with new characters. Stop calling it live action if half of the film is going to be CGI anyway. Like they did The Lion King. Like they called it live action, and the entire film is just animated, but it looks realistic.
But then saying that, I was watching some of the... really off topic, but I was watching some of the... I think it was 19-something Alice in Wonderland film with Ron. And I was looking at like the cartoon of that, and then it made me think of how the live action ones before Disney kept making them really bad, with Johnny Depp in them and Anne Hathaway, and I can't remember the other one's name.
I know the exact girl you're on about, but I can't think of her name.
Yeah, but
that was Tim Burton, wasn't it? Tim Burton's known for weird shit.
The
you got Tim Burton is known for his weird shit, and Alice in Wonderland is a fucking weird P anyway.
Were done by Disney, possibly him, or is him. They didn't get fucked up. They pretty much matched the cartoon version, and they didn't have things taken out of them. But those two particular Disney films were live action, and they were enjoyable.
Yeah.
And they're not really... I don't hear people hating them.
And you have like Willy Wonka. You had the original, and then that got remade. Almost equally. It's back when directors and companies wanted to make a film with passion, but now it's just like people love this and it makes us a lot of money. Let's remake it so we can make even more money. But
do you see what I mean? But when you look at the previous live action made before it all went wrong, and how people actually loved them and enjoy them, and how they match the actual storyline. And now Disney are just pumping out live action, you know, to whatever, and they're just turning out really bad. And they're taking the good stuff out of the original and then replacing it with something completely different that doesn't even match the film.
Name me one actually good Disney live action remake in the last decade, because that's how it's been. We've done Snow White, not Snow White, The Little Mermaid. That was fine. That was fine.
The Little Mermaid was enjoyable.
Aladdin I've seen, and that made me fucking just miserable.
I've never been keen on Aladdin, so I haven't.
It was incredibly auto-tuned with all the music. And Will Smith as the genie. Ugh.
I know they did Lady and the Tramp. I've seen clips of that. I have not watched it. I think my stepdad's watched it. But
Snow White.
It doesn't.
Snow White as well. That was
heard of it.
Disgraceful.
I haven't even seen any clips actually. That's not being.
It'll probably look like Cats and Dogs, where it's just like actual animals with it.
They made, that's the other one I said to you I wanted to cover. They've made Cats and Dogs, and yet you can go and watch that film and love it and enjoy it, and that would not be classed as shit.
I mean, it was a bit. It's very cheesy. Money.
Because it's like, I'm finding it so hard to find like thriller, mild horror and thriller film, and the unordinary, like Another Earth, Triangle. And then you've just got things like what fucking horror film was it? Winnie the Pooh, fucking.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Goldilocks, Free Bear.
Mousetrap's another one I've just found on.
It's because Mousetrap is terrible. Don't bother. I mean,
don't
we
know.
might do it once. Seen the fucking clips of it, and it has nothing to do with Steamboat Willie. It's just a guy that happens to. It's because shit's becoming public domain, so people are like, we don't have to pay for the rights to this, so what have we got to lose? So they make a cheap fucking.
We just want as. I'm going. I just want to make a film that we're proud of, passionate about.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are still films that we very much enjoy that come out. Like, we just did Final Destination like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
I mean, what was the director who did Us, who then did No?
Jordan Peele.
I would rather we have more people like Jordan, who...
Oh, you're on a first name basis. Mr. Peele!
Who would either take time, because you can tell he takes time for his films, he puts love, he puts passion in it, he thinks about the storyline. And also, it's a fucking thriller, so it keeps you guessing, because I was fucking confused. I understand the film to a certain base, but I feel like we still need one more watch, just to make it again nicely. But my point is, I would rather have directors who release them every few years, instead of yearly and just pumping out garbage.
I really want to get you into his films. He hasn't done many. He's done Get Out, produced a few things.
The other director... Never been a fan of the Ring. Just
we will cover them one day, but please, for the love of God, bear with us. Those films are absolutely gigantic.
Still haven't forgiven you, Francis, for ruining that film. But anyway.
That's a friend of ours. Ignore that. That's a random unrelated. But still, there are films with passion and care, and then there are films that make you just go, why bother? I mean, before this even came out, they were saying they would consider a sequel, and for the love of God, please, if you do a sequel, don't fucking try and adapt some other shit.
So on the cartoon one, there was more of our song playing, and I went.
Yeah. And he actually did the hula dance and was in the he was in the Elvis outfit, but that was during the credits.
And then they took that all out, and then they had him where Stitch touched the record player, and then opened his mouth and the music was playing out. But that didn't feel long enough. The Elvis.
No. Also, they removed the hot lifeguard that everyone got horny over. The internet got very horny over the lifeguard.
I mean, hats off to the guy who kept losing.
At least they kept the big. It's not an ice cream in this though. He has like a snow cone sort of thing.
I think twice it happened, but
that was a lot more in the original.
The facial expression for the scenes, because he even though he had no line.
Genuinely, hats off to that guy for
how it would do a cartoon.
Except he wasn't. He was fat, but he wasn't a white I mean, changing it is pointless, but if it gives another, fucking go for it, mate.
Well, I think
they could have made it be some cameo actor. Make a Seth Rogen.
I think he was the person for the job. He had the facial expression, kind of made it.
Yeah, genuinely shout out to that guy for being the only me of the film, the original.
I think having him in that quite good. Should have more time for him just dropping it.
That was part of the running gag of the original, was the boss being sad. He only loses it twice. This makes me just want to rewatch the original. And it's not as colourful as the original. I went the opening where she's it's not all beautiful.
Original, but the scene with Stitch reading bloody little duckies about family. Because I've got the canvas of it. doing Diamond.
No. I think he read the book. He found the book, which was like the ugly duckling,
Yeah.
which is obviously the family, and then the one kooky, if you wish. But that was a metaphor for him, but that doesn't happen in this. Instead, it's just Lilo going, I don't mean family and never get left behind, like all the time. It's rubbing you in your face.
The neighbour, she kind of went on about.
Yeah. I mean, they really rub it in your face that this film is about family. We know, move on, do something.
I think this film's Marmite. I think it's divided people. There are some people.
People who loved it.
Yeah, there's one particular girl I follow on Instagram, and she just posts nothing but Stitch. She absolutely loves Stitch. I can't remember her username to give her a shout out, but I follow her because she posts like all the new merch that is coming out. Follow her, but she came out and watched it, and she said she absolutely loved it. Finding faults with it, but you know, that's fair enough. She's a die-hard Stitch fan. I love Stitch, but when you make a live remake, I want it to make sense to the original. I think that's just how my brain works with my autism.
Yeah,
Hence
no, it
why-
makes sense.
Hence, match up with the original. And my brain's like, we're not kind of like it because it's not really in our comfort zone.
With a remake, you should tweak it and make it worth it. Thing, but this was changing so much. We're gonna make a new film, but yeah, this is such a beloved IP.
If
Like
they
Stitch
do
is it.
It'll be interesting if they go off any of the other. After that, it was Lilo and Stitch 2. Then it was
Leroy and Stitch.
yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if they'll do a standalone. If it's as bad as this, I'm hesitant.
Well, I think they may do another one due to popular demand, but I'm hoping to do it and try and stick to the originals.
At least Stitch was still the same actor. So at least there was that. And having a few bit parts for the original cast. Other than that, it was just... What was the point? Why ruin yet another really... Other than money.
I didn't hate it myself.
I think you enjoyed it more than not.
Kind of a bit where I was laughing, especially when the frog came on.
There was a couple of bits where it was funny, but that's mainly because you go, oh, I remember that. And fucking hell, I didn't mention it. They added the wedding scene where he sort of causes a bit of chaos before he gets run over and pound or whatever.
Whether he was just after Kate, I think I identify as him. There was a word where Jumbo gets described as a
Hairy potato.
Yeah, and I was just like, I always say I feel like a potato. No, I'm joking. Before you were screaming.
But yeah, the wedding was an interesting and pointless scene.
My brain was whacking. It's so see if we'd been tricked and that was in the original.
It wasn't, I swear
I
it
was
was.
sitting there being like, surely it wasn't.
Also, Uptown Funk in 2025? That song has to be about 10 years old. Something like
You
that.
wait until you hear the Smurfs.
Oh god, yeah.
That
There's...
is AI just...
Yeah, we had the trailer of the new Smurfs with James Corden in it. Yay! Come up beforehand, and that was. Oh god. It reminded me of that those Trolls film they did. Just a big sigh for those films. Pour one out and light it on
We may
fire.
have to go and stand up. No, actually, I don't know if he likes it.
I don't think he does.
Oh, great.
I've
Good.
never heard it.
What?
Minions, yes. Smurfs, no. I've never heard him say anything about this. I have to ask that. Anyway, this has probably dragged on long enough, but I mean, it's now 20 past midnight. We went to a late showing. But we had a good meal beforehand where they were really good with our shit, and we watched a good film. We watched a film. It was definitely one of the films of the... I wish I could say it was good, but at least it gives us content. Not going high on my list, but it might go high on your ish. A good level. But yeah, good, again with Disney's live action remakes, just go watch the original for God's sake. Like, save yourself ruining like your love for this film.
I think personally, if you're going to go and see it, watch the original cartoon first, and then go and see the live action, just so then you can compare it yourself, and then you'll know what's different and what. Because I don't like.
You've seen it enough where you didn't need to.
Now you're going to go and see Lilo and Stitch in the live action form and think those differences are correct when actually they're not, because if you go back to the cartoon one
I don't know, we've covered it, and that was a while ago, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bit like Alice in Wonderland, you got to go back to whatever.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
We may do that. We're just sort of giving up with doing stuff in order now. It's just like, if a film happens, it happens.
Well, I'm just saying, so if you're going to go see a live action, watch the cartoon one.
Oh god, yeah.
Because I think... I don't think I should have watched the cartoon one and didn't. So we couldn't compare whether it was 100% based down to true to the film or whether bits were added on.
No.
But because it wasn't that long ago we did the original Lilo and Stitch on this channel, so
it's recent-ish.
We were both able.
Plus, the original is so iconic. Like, hard to... It's a film that's locked into shit string.
Also, the DVD copy, you'll have the bit with the tumble dryer or washing machine. I think it was tumble dryer or washing machine. That then later got changed due to they then realised it was a bad idea to put a washing machine in that scene in case the children got in it, and actually did that in real life.
It's crazy what was full of how stupid kids were.
The one on Disney Plus has been edited, I think, and the any DVD version will have the tumble dryer.
Did you know they had to change something else in the original? You know how they fly past all the mountains? Initially it was going to be in a city, except because 9/11 happened they had to change it. They changed it to a spaceship. It used to be a plane, and then it flew through a city. Yeah. I didn't mention that in the original, but in our review of the original, but... Anyway, this has gone on long enough. I think we've complained enough about this. And your arm's dead because you decided to put behind me. But yeah, oh god, that's a joint one. We've still got to review your other one, I think tomorrow. Yeah, that was a film. But yeah, I've been your host, as ever, Peppermint, joined once more by the Obsidian Nook, whose links you can find in the description alongside all of mine, and we will see you next time for this fucking film that you made me sit through. Anyway, bye.